All right, the MHT CET exam is just 10 days away, and you can feel the pressure, right? It is officially crunch time. But what if I told you that in these last few days, you could lock in a strategy to guarantee over 40 marks in chemistry? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down right now.
Okay, let's just start with a hard truth. It's something every single student feels, but nobody really says out loud. With 77 chapters, you are not going to finish the entire syllabus. And you know what? That is absolutely 100% okay. Accepting this isn't about giving up. It's about getting smart.
So if finishing everything isn't the goal, then what is? Let's talk about this. We need to bust a major myth about hitting the 99th percentile. So many students think they need a perfect, flawless score, but that is just not how the MHCET works.
Look at this number. This number changes the entire game. To hit the 99th percentile in chemistry, you don't need a perfect 50 out of 50. You really only need to lock in about 40 to 42 marks. All of a sudden, that goal doesn't just seem possible, it's totally achievable. This is about being precise, not being perfect.
This right here, this is the mindset shift you have to make. Forget trying to finish every single chapter. Instead, you're going to strategically skip some. And forget aiming for a perfect 200. A smart, well-earned 130 marks overall can get you into that 99th percentile club. It is all about working smart, not just hard. Okay, so with that new mindset, where do you actually point your energy in these last 10 days? You need a blueprint, right? A clear guide that shows you exactly where the most marks are hiding so you can go after those areas first.
And here it is. When you look at the papers from previous years, there is a super clear pattern. A massive 45% of the questions on your chemistry paper come from just one place, physical chemistry. Think about that. Nearly half your marks are sitting right there. This has to be your #1 priority. Period. So, you need to follow this exact order of attack. You start with physical chemistry. That's where you build your solid foundation of marks. Then you move on to organic, then inorganic, and you finish up with applied chemistry. This priority list is your roadmap to getting the biggest score in the short amount of time you have left.
Now, we're going to get even more specific, because it's not enough to just know which branch of chemistry is important. You need to know the exact topics inside them that get tested over and over again. This is your high-impact hit list.
So, inside that huge 45% chunk of physical chemistry, these 4 chapters are the heavyweights. They carry the most marks. And why is that? Well, it's because they are jam-packed with numericals and formula-based questions, and those are the most predictable, highest-scoring types of questions you're going to see. Mastering these 4 will give you the biggest return on your time.
Okay, let's zoom in even closer. When you're studying these chapters, focus on the patterns. For solid state, questions on density and defects are pretty much a guarantee. For solutions, you gotta know Raoult's law and colligative properties. For thermo, master all the work done formulas. And for kinetics, you have to know order of reaction and the half-life formulas inside and out. These are the topics that keep showing up.
All right, so what about organic chemistry? I know, it can feel like a total beast, but you can conquer it with this simple 5-point plan. First, master the absolute basics, IUPAC and common names. Then, dive into the chemical and physical properties. Fourth, and this is super important, memorize the named reactions. And finally, review the uses of the different compounds. Just apply this 5-step process to the 4 main organic chapters and you'll lock in those marks. Now for inorganic and applied chemistry, your approach needs to be targeted memorization. In inorganic, focus on the trends, like electronic configuration and key properties of the p-block elements. For chapters like polymers and biomolecules, the strategy is really simple. Memorize your monomers and their uses, and then just hammer the previous year questions, the PYQs. Seriously, the patterns in the PYQs for these chapters are so strong and so predictable.
So, we've covered what to study. Now let's talk about how to study in these final days. Your revision technique can literally make or break your performance. It's time to switch from passive learning to active, strategic revision.
Please avoid these common last-minute traps. Stop passively rereading the textbook like it's a novel and start actively solving those PYQs. Don't try to learn a brand new chapter right now. Instead, use mind maps to quickly review what you already know. You got to shift from just reading to actively recalling stuff from your short notes.
So how many times should you solve those PYQs? The magic number is 2, a minimum of 2 times.
The first time you go through, you're learning the patterns, and it's totally fine to look at the solutions. But the second time, you have to solve them on your own to really burn the concepts into your brain and build that real confidence. Once is just not enough.
I mentioned mind maps, and trust me, they are your secret weapon in these final days. You just don't have time to reread a 20-page chapter. A good mind map links all the key formulas and concepts on a single page, letting you revise an entire chapter in less than 10 minutes. It's the best high-efficiency revision tool out there.
So, how do we wrap all of this up into one solid plan? This is it. This is your final path to scoring those crucial 40-plus marks and grabbing that 99th percentile spot.
It all boils down to these 3 simple steps. 1. Prioritize. Focus your study time based on weightage, starting with physical chemistry. 2. Execute. Focus like a laser on those high-impact topics we listed out. And 3. Revise. Do it smartly and actively with PYQs and mind maps. That's it. That's the whole game plan.
And let's end where we began. I want you to remember this. The pressure you're feeling, it usually comes from chasing this imaginary goal of being perfect. Let it go. Your real goal is clear, it's achievable, and it's right in front of you. A smart, strategic score of 40 or more. You can absolutely do this.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question to get you started. Look back at that hit list we made. Pick one topic. Which high-yield topic are you going to master first? Don't wait. Start now. All the best.